Yo, today I'm going to answer a very interesting question. What if Wolvesville only had 50 roles? And 50 might sound like a lot of roles, and technically it is true, but nowadays there are, like, depending on what you call role and what not, 100 roles or even more. So I have put them all here below my webcam. You can only see the zombie and some stuff behind it, but it's like there's like 100 roles exactly in there. It also includes some unreleased roles like the spy, but not the RV, for example. We are gonna take a look at this. I'm going to say 50 roles are going to be in the accepted category that's there. And then 50 roles, or just the remainder, is going to be in the rejected category. I might go over roles quickly because I don't want to make this video 2 hours long, if you get what I mean. If I'm not sure whether I want to have this accepted or rejected, then I will keep it like below me still, because then I will, come back at it later. Let me see if that's gonna fit. Yeah, but it's not gonna go there. It's absolutely gonna be a rejected role. I do think that 1 or 2 conversion roles have to make it into the game, because what we need to keep in mind is that it's not about what 50 roles do I like the most, because then we're gonna get foremost villagers, and some people are gonna foremost nominate like werewolves. If we do that, we are gonna get a very imbalanced role schedule, and that doesn't mean that every game is gonna be unbalanced, but I don't want a game in which we have like 40 evil roles and then it's still a 10 villager setup, and there's only 10 villagers or even 5 villagers only, and then every villager is just always gonna appear and every werewolf is like very rare. No, we're not gonna do something like that. We're trying to keep some sort of balance, but the zombie is gonna be rejected, that's for sure. I'm not very content with zombie still. It's like oh, this is a tricky one. I don't like the Wolfluencer in the sense it's kind of OP, but it's unique. So I'm gonna keep it here for now. I am not really sure when I'm gonna put it or not. Yeah, where I'm gonna put it exactly. I don't think it's unique enough to go into the accepted category right away. I'm gonna put it more down in rejected, so that will be easy. Like, if I'm gonna have to play some more roles there, then the Wolftrickster is gonna come in mind. But if it's on the top of rejected, it's definitely not making it in. So that goes to the zombie. I thought I wanted to have this, but I'm not gonna include it quite yet. So yeah, we're gonna have this in the middle one. This is gonna be a lot of roles in the middle, just saying. I like the wolf shaman. I think I'm gonna have this in the game. I think the mechanic and the whole debate almost behind the wolf shaman, well, not the debate, but more like the argument of I'm shaman. I think this role definitely deserves a spot in the top 50. What you might see is that I'm gonna include a lot of old roles here in the accepted category. Wolfseer is one of such. I'm going to include the Wolfseer here as well. Although there could be an argument to be made for a blind werewolf and sorcerer and no Wolfseer, but I think Wolfseer, I feel like it's gonna be a role that we have to do. Ideally, when we look at the whole thing, the whole spectrum of roles, I want to have around 10 werewolves in the accepted category in the game. And the wolf scribe is... Also, there's a stupid small fly here. I'm gonna kill it at some point, probably. Alright. I don't think this is worth, honestly. I don't think it's worth a top 50 roles now. Wolf Pacifist, I mean, it's better than it was now with the buff. But I don't think it's worth being in the accepted category quite yet. Which is a role I really like, and I think it should be in the accepted category, though it is like, I would say it's almost like, if I have to drop something, it could be the witch, but yeah, who knows. This is one of the roles I would definitely put in, not because I like to play as werewolf fan that much, but I'm going to explain it a little bit later, perhaps as well, but this is gonna fall under a certain category called third party / team changers and that type of stuff, and that one I'm gonna explain why, but that is important to keep in the game. I'm also going to include that one, so everyone who's a fan of this role, that's a lot of people actually, don't worry, I'm going to put on the Werewolf Berserk in the accepted category. It's gonna stay in the game. Or regular werewolf, I think it kind of has to as well. Though, I'm gonna put it here as well. The problem with regular werewolf is, if you don't have a regular werewolf, what are you gonna do with the werewolf and the curse, right? It has to turn into something, so yeah. Also, it's really nice for custom games. Regular werewolves can be very useful by times. Oh, the Warden. So I don't think I want to include Jailer and Warden. So I'm gonna be sorry, because I know there's a lot of Warden lovers. Relo, I know you. You are one of them. But I'm going to reject it, because I'm gonna put it here. In case an extra spot comes free, we might do it there. But I think this is not gonna make it in, because I want a Jailer. Oh man, I'm gonna keep it here as well. This one is like tricky. So in terms of informers, I'm not sure how many we are going to get exactly. Like, surely some of them are definitely not making it in, and some are. But the VO is tricky. I'm gonna keep it in the middle for now. We're gonna come back to a lot of roles later on. Villager, I'm gonna keep it in for the memes, you know. You need a regular villager. And now that we are doing that, I think I'm gonna put the regular werewolf just there as well. Not because it's meme material, but it's so basic, it's so important in easy setups that it has to go in. Oh hell no! I want one of those type of roles maybe, but not the Trapper. I'm also not gonna include you, sorry. You got a good buff, but I think it's too much if we have the Toxic Wolf and the Berserk in only 50 rolls, so yeah. I don't know, man. Tough Guy is also gonna stay here, I think. The change is good, in fact. So when I thought of this, previously I had definitely put it in rejected, but now with the change, I might have to put it here again. Oh, same as Summoner, really. I think one of them could make it in. I'm leaning towards the Summoners. I think I'm going to reject the Stubborn Werewolf, in all fairness. This is not a popular take, but I'm gonna have to reject it. Nope! Not an unfinished role, and unless I really think that Spy is a perfect combination between a couple roles, and that we have to remove those couple roles like Detective and Spirit Seer and Gambler and stuff, and we need a Spy instead, or Mortician, I don't know, whatever. Then I'm gonna put a Spy in there and all those in the rejected, but I'm more leaning towards the opposite, in all fairness. Man, I'm going to put it in the middle right here, but I'm leaning towards accepted and then rejecting the Junior Werewolf. But yeah, let's see that later. Also, if you do like this type of video, this is basically just a one-off video probably. But if you like this video, then let me know in the comments, and also let me know what your top 50 look like. And it's not like how much you like to play them, but if the game just had 50 roles and nothing more, nothing less, what 50 roles would be in the game? What do you think would make the game the best? Even if there are a couple roles that you personally don't like to play. Some roles are just very crucial for the game. Like, they shape the game in some form. Oh, I like the Spirit Seer. I'm gonna keep this one in. I like it because it has a lot of versatility. So Spirit Seer is definitely a good role. I think it's gonna kind of come down to the same as the Werewolf fan. So now with Sorcerer and Wolfseer, I'm definitely knowing right now that we are not gonna keep the Blind Werewolf in. That's something that's not gonna come in. Siren, no. Yeah, I think I should put this in. Though, I'm gonna put it here. We should be limited on informers. We cannot put every informer there. Shadow Wolf, I'm 100% I'm gonna keep that one in. Shadow Wolf, I think, is one of the most creative roles ever. When this came out, you have to realize, when this came out, nothing like hiding votes and doubling votes existed. Yeah, well, the mayor, but it's like one player double vote permanently when you reveal. But the Shadow Wolf was so unique, and it's still kind of unique, in all honesty. So I have to keep that in. weak roll, but I'm gonna keep it in. It's kind of the same category for me as the villager and the regular werewolf. It has to stay in because it is simple. There are gonna be rolls that are simple that are not gonna stay in, by the way, don't worry. I am not the biggest fan of this roll, in honesty. It always feels awkward that it's in the bodyguard roll tree. I mean, I know what the arguments in favor are, but... And it's hard to place it elsewhere, but it should also not be in the bodyguard. It kind of needs like 1 or 2 new rolls that are somewhat similar. And then it should form a tree with those rolls, I guess. But yeah, Seer Apprentice, absolutely. I am going to reject this one. Though I'm going to put this down, so this could be an option if we need more. Seer, absolutely first one to reject. This is one of the rolls that is going to immediately just be rejected. No talk about the Seer. Sec Leader, I love the Sec Leader. I think I'm gonna keep it in, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep Bandit and Sec Leader.
Ho ho ho!
Now we have the first of the 3 festivity rolls, and in all honesty, the festivity rolls, they don't appear too much, and they are also not really special enough to keep them in. So I'm gonna move them all to rejected. It's nothing personal against them. I don't hate these rolls, but they are just too niche. Ritualist. I think I'm gonna have to cancel this one, and I'm going to use 1 or 2 other medium rolls. Red Lady, I think we'll keep this in the accepted one here. Now what? Rainmaker? Yeah, so this is an unreleased roll. The second one that we are facing right now. No, this is not gonna make it in. I'm not really convinced by this roll quite yet. I think it's just a little bit too weak. We have talked about the Centaur already, so yeah, this one goes there. Priest is quite a unique one. I'm gonna keep this in. We are getting to the President, and the President, honestly, a lot of you are probably gonna reject this because it's never appearing, and maybe it's not appealing to you either. But I'm gonna have this in accepted because if you come to think of it, 50 rolls, and you want to do as many different things as possible to keep the game still interesting, then the President is definitely one of the ways to do it. So, purely because of the element that it adds, this is an example of rolls that are not fun per se, but they are so unique and they change the game so much that they have to be in. I think it adds a lot of variety to the game if we have the President still in. So that one has to go in for me, but I might see a lot of hate, or I might see a lot of disagreements with that here in the comments. Honestly, I'm gonna probably put this over the Mayor, and I'm gonna accept this one. And the Mayor, yeah, well, I'm probably gonna reject that one later. No, Climber or Voodoo, like that's the debate for me. I'm gonna keep, I'm doing one of them for sure, but I'm not sure which one. No Night Watchman on my watch. Also, Mortician, sorry, but you are not in the top 50 most important roles. The medium is, though. Like, this is going to be the role that's gonna revive the players. I do think this one is a little bit more versatile than the Ritualist. I'm not a Ritualist hater at all. I probably even use Ritualist more than medium, but yeah. For the game, it's probably better to have a medium. I'm going to reject it because I have the Preacher. As a player, I like to play Mayor, but yeah, I don't see a point in Mayor and Preacher in 50 rolls, and I think the Preacher is just better. Absolutely is gonna stay in. I love this role. This one has to stay in 50 rolls. Lurker is another third party role. I'm gonna have to keep that in. I'm gonna accept the Lurker, let's go. I don't know. I don't think this one deserves to be. I'm gonna put this here. I think for revealing roles, the Loudmouth is the best revealing role, but yeah, it's still because it's most balanced. Let me be clear about that. It's not like in strength, it's not the best one. But Loudmouth, I'm going to keep that one in rejected, but I'm gonna put it in the bottom. If we have extra space to fill, maybe the Loudmouth is gonna be in contention. I think Trickster and Warden are more in contention. Locksmith, absolutely nope. I mean, it's not like that I hate this roll, but it's just unfinished. Oh, this is spicy, because I think the Kitten Wolf is balanced, but not for ranked maybe. And I foremost think this adds a huge element to the game. I'm going to accept that one. That will mean that the Junior or the Split will definitely not make it in. I think the Junior is gonna go down. And then the Split, I will take that one in right now. And then we have had that entire family pretty much. The Wolfluencer is still in the gray area. Like, quite literally. Honestly, I'm a big fan of the Priest family. But I don't know if 3 of them are too much. They are like all different. But still, the Judge, yeah, I don't know. Gray area for me. I'm gonna keep the Jelly Wolf or Guardian Wolf in the game, but it also depends on whether we want to use the Flower Child or not. I don't think I... Ooh. Flower Child is a really good role though. Like, if you come to think of it. So Jelly Wolf is gonna be here. Jailer absolutely gonna stay in the game, accepted. Instigator also. Maybe not balanced, maybe it should be an RK. Like, I hear a lot of people asking for that, but yeah, maybe it should be an RK, I agree, but it has to stay in the game. It's gonna be Elu or Corruptor, quite frankly, because they're too similar to have both. I think Corruptor has more character, and I like it a little bit more, but I'm not really sure, man. Oh, Headhunter is also spicy. It's a little bit too unique to not include it, but I think this role should get a fix. As in, not become Villager. Gunner also easy choice. Maybe not as easy as it should be, but yeah. Then we have the Guardian Wolf, which we talked about earlier. I'm gonna keep that one with the Jelly. We'll discuss this later. Granny, we also put this one here with the Voodoo and Nightmare. Oh yeah, that one has to go in too. I know this one is also not really liked in the rank community, for example, but for this type of video, for like how many rolls we won in the game, I think it has to stay. It's like precedent pretty much. For custom games it would be huge. For some setups, crazy game modes as well, and even some wacky sandbox setups could be cool to keep it in the game. So the protectors is not something we've touched that much. Do we even have a single protector? The Witch, I guess. The Red Lady, if you count it as a protector, like it's more like a dodger. I'm going to keep the Ghost Lady in, because we do need a couple protectors, not too many. I think I'm leaning towards 3 protectors, but we'll see. I almost forgot what that does, but it's... Yeah, I mean, I'm not too much. Like, with the other unreleased roles, the Spy, the Locksmith, and the Rainmaker, I was definitely on the reject side. But here, I'm more leaning towards keeping this in for debate for now. I think it's too strong. I'm not gonna keep the Gambler in. Fortune Teller also, you gotta go. Like, right away, just... Or, yeah, I think move that way, preferably. I'm gonna put this in the gray area too. Full 100% staying in. That's easy. One of the easiest calls for sure. And I'm gonna make a bold call later on, perhaps as well. But yeah. In my opinion, it's gonna be either Jelly Wolf or Guardian Wolf and Flower Child. I think Flower Child has to be in, actually. But I'm gonna keep it there for now. I like the Flagger, but it's kind of strong. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in, but might be a role that we have to move out. I think we can keep the Evil Detective. Easter Bunny, nope. That one is gonna go. I am gonna keep the Doctor too. I think it's just much more balanced. This is like one of those OG roles that I referred to earlier. Sometimes I will lean towards the OG roles, and Doctor is definitely a case. Detective also pretty old, not like OG, but it's quite old, 2018 time still. actually the same thing. We have a lot of rolls that are staying in now, and that's we are like going towards 15 slots only open, and we still have to go through the A, which is a lot of rolls. Cupid also is going to stay in. Did we already decide on the illusionist? Nope. So I'm gonna put the corruptor there. Look, Conju, I like the Conju, and a lot of people do, but I don't know if we need a grave robber and a conjurer, because in feeling they are kind of similar. I think I'm gonna keep it in the middle right here. I'm going to reject that one. I know this is probably an unpopular one to reject. Now I really want to get that fly. Oh my god. Come on. But yeah, Conju. Not so sure, man. Not so sure. Cannibal, I'm also going to keep that one in. But we do need to keep in mind, how many solos do we have? We shouldn't pick too many solos, because that's gonna be unbalanced for the possibilities that we have with setup creation for other categories. If we take a look at the solos, we have the sect leader, the serial killer, the instigator, I guess, maybe evil detective, cannibal. We have a corruptor or elu. That's one is 100% coming, but I'm not sure which one yet. And we have the whole arsonist tree except for Siren also left to go.
No.
The bully. Oh, this is tricky because I like the bully, but I don't know if there's space for it. Bomber, I'm gonna keep it in the middle, by the way. Bomber, definitely not. I think we're gonna have one or two other arson tree rolls. We're gonna keep this one in as well. We need like one role that can self-protect and protect someone else, I think. So it's between tough guy and bodyguard, but then I'm more leaning towards the bodyguard in all fairness. Definitely gonna go. I like this role too. I'm gonna put it like next to the sheriff. Not meaning that it's gonna be either sheriff or bell ringer, but it might be the case. You know, we do need a good pool of RV rolls. I'm gonna keep this one in the middle too. I'm not gonna have the baker in. I'm so sorry, but yeah, nothing against the baker really. Well, maybe I'm not gonna put it in the rejected quite yet. I'm gonna put it like towards rejected. I know a lot of people would definitely not have this in, but I am biased, so I'm gonna do it anyways. No, just kidding. Well, I am kind of biased maybe, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it in because I want to have a role with impact on death, and I think the Avenger is just the better pick here than the Loudmouth. But yeah, you can let me know if you would include one of those, which one you would include, Avenger or Loudmouth, because that is an interesting topic. In all fairness, I want to have one type of Aura Seer for sure, and that's either Analyst or Aura Seer. I think the Analyst is going to be a little bit too strong in terms of the other informers that we're gonna have, so I'm gonna keep it with the Aura Seer here. Assassin. Oh, I have this one here as well. I forgot about that. Ooh, Assassin. Like, Assassin is... At the moment, you cannot have Assassin in anything else than Assassin's Convention. So basically this is saying, do I reserve a spot on 50 rolls for the game mode Assassin's Convention? My heart would say no, because I don't like Assassin's Convention. However, I am not sure whether that's the right call, because it is a unique game mode, and I do know there's people that love it, and I also get why they love it, but it's just not my cup of tea. But I do know why people love it. I don't think it's inherently wrong to love the game mode, and thus inherently wrong to put it and accept it. Even though it's OG and it hurts to do this, but I think I'm gonna reject this because we have the Cannibal, and I think I prefer doing the Alchemist here as well. Anarchist, say what you want, but I think this is a pretty nice role. to keep in the game, even if it wouldn't appear in sandbox or quick game or ranked. I think this one could be very useful for custom games still. So I would keep Anarchist in. You can definitely base setups around Anarchist. So yeah, that one has to go in. Nope. Oh, werewolf with private messages and an unknown aura. Yeah, that's tricky in all fairness. I'm not so sure. Alchemist, I'm gonna keep that one. And that's it. So we do have 9 slots remaining. Baker, I'm sorry, you're not gonna make it in. I will need to do some counting here, I think, first, because how many werewolves do we have?
Thousands of tears later.
I'm really leaning towards doing the Wolfscribe here as well. We have that one accepted, because I think the plays that you can make as Wolfscribe are insane. This is really a role with a lot of thoughts that you can put into it and potentially be really strong. But also you have to do some thoughts, because if you don't do that, like what I usually did when I have played this role, then you're just not gonna get really any significant output. So this one is a skill based role and I like that, so that's one it's gonna keep in. We'll do the Flower Child here along with the Guardian Wolf. I'm going to remove the Jelly Wolf and the Gentle Wolf though, for sure. I'm going to reject the Swamp Wolf. Let's just get that one out of the way. I'm gonna keep the Corruptor in. I don't know if that's nostalgia based or not, but I think this one has a little more character to it. How many shooting villagers? That's also important. How many shooting villagers? Because I feel like there's a lot of roles that can kill from the village and we don't want too many of them. Whilst you can see me counting to 7, I want to quickly remind you that the Setup Cup submissions are currently open still. They close on Sunday 18th. You can submit as many setups as you wish, but if they are too similar, I will pick the last one only of the ones that you submitted of that type. Also, the prize pool will be real money, 50 euros to be exact, and potential bonuses. I will stream or record every setup at least once, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. So there's already 7 roles from the village that have some sort of killing potential. I don't think we need a bully in that case. Like, I'm going to include the Grumpy Grandma here, and I'm going to exclude the Tough Guy. 2 roles here, Bandit and Assassin. Very tricky for me. Okay, in all honesty, the first thing I'm gonna do is remove the Wolf Rancer, because I think the Wolf Rancer is just it's fun in terms of, yeah, well, maybe to play with. I don't really like it per se, but I know a lot of people like this role. But I'm going to reject it because it's too annoying. I'm going to reject the Forger too, actually. That's kind of sad, because Forger is... Judge, I'm also going to reject. I think this is a great role, but I don't think it should be in the top 50 roles when we only have 50 roles basically. Then we are still with 4 spots. We are slowly moving them out. Also, I'm pretty sure that neither of these roles on the right is gonna make it in, so that's settled by now. Since we have a Grumpy Grandma, perhaps we should do the Voodoo Werewolf in that case. I think we do have enough werewolves. Though something in me, I'm so against not having at least 1 werewolf with an unknown aura. So I cannot, like, we will make an exception and have a 13th werewolf, but there is going to be a werewolf. And for the other 2 slots, do I do it and remove the Conjurer? I don't think it's gonna be Bellringer, in all honesty. I don't hate this role, I like the Bellringer in fact, but yeah. Sheriff is so difficult, I like this role a lot, but it's too niche maybe in this case. For Informers, on the other hand though, I think it's better than the VO for setup making, so that's why I'm gonna put this here. This might be the hardest take, or the hardest decision. VO is gonna go in that case, and now we have 2 slots left. One of those werewolves is gonna make it in. It's gonna be Wolf Summoner. I think it just has a little bit more to it to justify its inclusion. Also because like private messages, sure, cool, but one werewolf that has like additional material, essentially, like you can add an additional life. It's good if we have one of those werewolves as well, and also if we have a werewolf with an unknown aura, and then we're just really going to be Wolf Summoner or Stubborn Werewolf. I do think the Wolf Summoner is better in that case. So no Alpha Werewolf in that case as well. And now we have 3 rolls left, and one is gonna make it in. The hard thing of this is we are comparing apples with oranges here. Because they are all gonna be there for totally different reasons. Conjurer, it's a fun role in my opinion. It is quite unique because you can pick whoever you want to be, and Grave Robber does not have that. Also, it's a second type of revival role, so that's the argument for the Conjurer. The Bandit has the argument of a second conversion role being in the game. I think Sect Leader is more important, but we could still have the Bandit too. How often are they really going to shape the game? I think in that case we will have to get rid of the Assassin for sure. And also from the Conjurer, though we could quickly look if there is something that I overlooked, that I overestimated, but I don't think I did, that we can like remove, that we already have. I think the Flower Child is a little bit, it's like the only type of villager that can protect, so though, but it's only useful against Shadow. So I think the Flower Child is really too niche. You cannot even base setups around Flower Child, in all honesty. Like, I've not really seen it happen too much. So I am instead going to include the Bandit and the Conjurer there. That's how we're gonna solve it. But I'm really curious to see what the comments are what they look like, because this is not an easy choice, basically.
Ages of mental conflict later.
So if we only have 50 rolls, and we have around 50 as well that we have to remove, then you can see them right there, all the way to the bottom. I'm really curious to see what you think of the selection that I made, and also what selection you would make, of course. And we will certainly have some disagreements. Either way, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.
If you loved what you just saw, then make sure to check out this juicy video I have here for you. You can also subscribe and turn on epic notifications to never miss a future upload. My social links, including Discord server, are in the link tree. Link is in the description. I will see you later, and don't be a traitor.